What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the DHC Sports Show. And actually, tonight, again, it is our show because, as you'll see, there's no Dad Hat to be seen. So we had to call in a producer and call in a mayor, and then they let a prospector in, and that's who we've got tonight. Ed may be joining us later, and Eric, who knows? So I really don't know, and that's all I'll say about that. But as always, our show is brought to you by, oh, look who decided to join us. Oh, wait. Oh, what's up, Sunshine? Thanks for joining us. Man.
Couldn't even go 2 minutes without us running.
Yeah, and
2 minutes.
Boy, he's got Donnie. He's got Donnie's audio, doesn't he? Oh, man. Can you guys hear reverb?
I can hear reverb, yeah.
Hey, there you are.
There you are. Oh man. And then look who else is showing up at the very last minute.
Of course he always shows up
party.
at the end.
All these guys party.
Well, anyways.
Whoa. I was just at the baseball game. Don't be hating on me now.
No. Well, welcome to our show. What's your name again?
Oh, I'm sorry. My name is Ed, also known as the Dad Hat.
Huh. Okay. Well, I hope this is a good chance for the audience to get introduced to you because this is obviously our show. So
very much so.
So just in case you aren't used to the way this works, Mr. Dad Hat, the way that this normally works is we kind of go around and we talk about what we're drinking and what we're wearing. So since you're our guest tonight, what are you drinking and what are you wearing? Hopefully not drinking anything alcoholic.
No alcohol. I was just leaving the Carolina Mudcats game.
Okay.
So the Mudcats won. Just so I don't know if you guys wanted to know that or not, but they won.
Good.
And they I am wearing the Carolina Kudzu.
Ooh.
Nice.
And where did you pick up a hat like that?
Oh, I actually procured this hat at the Carolina Sandlot Festival this weekend.
Very nice. That sounds fun.
It was a lot of fun. I had a good friend of mine join me.
Really?
I don't know if you know this guy. Yeah, he was there.
Nice. He sounds awesome.
He's a pretty cool dude.
Nice.
And then, guys, it is confirmed. I have to confirm this. Patrick, his girlfriend, is real.
Yes.
I don't believe Donnie. I don't think we know that.
Before we get to that, Eric, Virgil, did y'all get the text about would y'all like any of these hats that they have here at this said festival?
No.
Well,
there were some cool hats.
Yeah, there were some cool hats. Yep.
Yeah, y'all are out of your mind. You know how expensive those damn hats are?
Woo.
Yeah, heard of Venmo?
Okay, fine. Don't worry because I'll have an opportunity to have more. Don't you worry.
No, that's fine. Those were cool hats that you got, though. I really liked seeing some of those cool logos that they had. And one was official league, too. That was awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the Austin Ramblers.
Yeah. Yeah, so, Ed, about that Austin Ramblers hat, how many of those official league hats were left after you bought one?
None.
Yeah. So Mr. Rivera bought the last one.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh,
the one that everyone
That's how it rolls.
Yeah, the one that everyone wanted, he goes, "Yeah, I'll just take the last one."
Okay.
Yeah. It was on high demand.
Well, Mr. Dad Hat, thanks for joining us. Maybe you can catch up on episodes of the show and figure out what we do here. So let's see. Let's go around. Let's see. Mr. Producer, what are you drinking and what are you wearing, my friend?
Tonight, I am wearing the Chattanooga Wreckers hat, something I've been wanting to get that I went last year, was not able to get because they were out, so I'm glad to finally get this. And I'm just doing water tonight.
Very, very nice. Can't wait to hear about your trip to Chattanooga. And apparently you saw another person on here and, some other cool folks.
There's rumors that happened, yes.
Okay. Well, the conjecture was out there. I don't know I don't know why you're pointing at Virgil, Donnie, but you
I saw me there. Yes.
Yes. He saw himself there. Like he looked in the mirror and said, "Man, I like what I see." So,
the eyeballs on his head.
Yeah. Well, keep pointing because you haven't pointed to him yet. Let's see. So speaking of Mr. Mayor, that's about as close as you're going to get. Instead of trying to point at the completely wrong direction, how about you tell us what you're wearing and what hat you're wearing and what you're drinking?
Well, I'm just drinking some Diet Mountain Dew tonight. No beer tonight. So I'm just putting that away. So this is this cool Tritone Party Animals hat that I picked up this weekend in Clemson. I had no intention of getting a hat. I said, I'm not buying a hat. And then I saw this one and I was like, okay, I'm buying a hat.
Yeah. Yeah, that always works when you have no intention to get a hat.
Exactly. I had the pink 5950 on, and I was like, I don't need another hat. I was not going to buy a bananas hat because I got several of those. And then I walked by the pink tents and saw this up there, and I'm like, I've said many times to Mapping the Path and several others when he puts his hats out there that he's wanting us to choose from. I'm a sucker for a Tritone, and when you saw this black, white, and pink Tritone, I had to get it. This is no stopping it.
Is that a Zephyr?
It is. It's a Zephyr. Yeah. It's a medium stretch fit. Party Animals on the back there. So yeah, it's pretty cool. Pretty cool hat. Very comfortable hat. And then nice. Just my friend Scott came back from Tigertown Tavern and was wearing this very cool corduroy Tigertown Tavern hat with the
I love that,
the tiger in the beer mug.
I like that.
And had the white leather strap on the back, which was very cool. And I was like, I had to get one of those.
That's beautiful.
Yeah. So when the game was over and we were sitting there waiting for traffic to clear for about an hour and a half, I just walked downtown to Tigertown Graphics, got carded, and it's crazy. You're old when the guy that's carding you with all these 20-year-olds looks at your license and says, "Thank you, Mr. Wise." So I went in, parted the sea of crazy kids, bought my hat, and walked right back out.
Man, that's a nice hat, dude.
Yeah, it is. And was that did you go downtown with all your 57 friends that you went to that game with?
No, just one person walked down there with me. Most everybody else was just
because you fit about 57 people in that picture. Goodness. Anyways, what's up, Terry? Is this some kind of sports show? Yeah, it is, and hopefully the other guys can explain to the Dad Hat guy down there exactly what we do on this show.
Exactly. Yeah. Hi, Terry, Lynn.
Hey, Lynn.
Phil.
And this is a great segue from Phil into Mr. Influencer. How are you doing tonight? And what are you wearing? And what are you drinking?
How was that a segue?
That Lookouts hat. Because that's
sorry, I just saw that. Sorry, I just saw the comment. So I don't need to describe it since Phil described it for me. So that Lookouts hat, fire emoji, fire emoji.
Mm-hmm. What jersey was it worn with, though?
I don't think they wore this hat.
Oh, did they not wear it with the 9 initiative that they had going on?
They weren't doing the
Chattanooga
Choo-Choos this weekend. No, they wore the Scenic City uniforms.
Okay.
Which was the black with the red bill hats. Mm-hmm. And then they wore reds, but yeah, no, they didn't wear. I'm pretty sure they didn't wear this hat.
It's a nice hat.
Because they switched 2 different uniforms on the doubleheader on Saturday, and I'm pretty sure they didn't wear it on.
They didn't.
Okay.
Because were they in all black that first game with Chase Burns?
They were wearing the black jerseys, but I think it was the red bill hats. It wasn't the black hats.
Yeah. So top prospect for the Reds, Chase Burns, got called up, made his MLB debut, or sorry, not MLB, AA debut, and threw, I think, 5 innings. And he looked pretty good. He was hitting over 100, but their radar gun can only go up to 99, so it would top out there. And he was fun to watch to see him. 5 strikeouts, I believe. So he was only in because he just got drafted last year, and he was only in Dayton for what I say, Virgil, like 3 games.
3 games.
And then they went ahead and called him up. And so he looked pretty good. obviously he didn't pitch more than 50, 60 pitches. But yeah, it was kind of cool to see the top prospect for the Reds get his AA debut. But anyway, so I got the Eyeballs hat. They wear this with the Nuga jerseys, but they didn't. They weren't playing. They didn't have that jersey on, and then they ended up in. I think they typically would wear these with their Chattanooga Choo Choos uniforms. They didn't play as that either, but yeah. Okay. So I went with this hat, and then I just got water today.
That's a nice pickup.
Thank you.
Did you get a chance to meet up with Jera?
I did, yeah. So I didn't see him on Friday, and he. So I was walking around, didn't see him. So Saturday, he was at the gate when I walked in, talked to him for a few minutes. And then afterwards of the doubleheader on Saturday, they did fireworks followed by kids running the bases. So Virgil and I talked to him for probably a good 15 minutes or so afterwards. So, yeah, I did get to see Jared and talk to him.
Cool. Yeah.
Well, that's a very nice hat, and look forward to hearing about your trip. But before we get to that, as always,
what are you wearing, Patrick?
Well, I will tell you after I talk about our sponsor, which is, gentlemen,
I believe it's
Old Fort Baseball.
Old Fort Baseball Co. Our friend Logan and our friends over at Old Fort Baseball Co. If I don't know if Brett's on tonight, but Brett or any of you, if you're looking for a discount, you can put in code Dad Hat to get how much off of your purchase, guys?
15%.
15% off. And so, so you can use code Dad Hat to get 15% off of your purchase, or you can use code DHC if you're into stickers, like Donnie is. And when the sticker club is normally $4 a month, if you use code DHC, you can get $1 off and get it for $3. So that's code DHC for the sticker club and code Dad Hat to get 15% off your entire merch order. So let's see what we have here. Lynn saying that we've got she must be in Davenport tonight because they've got a lot of all black Royal style Quad Sage River Bandits hats. Very nice.
Well, I know she was there over the weekend.
I was gonna say I think she was there, but I don't know.
She was there.
She's there now.
Well, and she said the one and only Ben Hill is coming to Cedar Rapids the Cedar Rapids Colonels game on Saturday night. She already has a ticket. So
nice.
And then Mike Sellers has joined us. Mike Sellers, who I believe met up with a certain guest of ours tonight. They need to keep Five County Stadium around and find another team to take its place. It's a cool park. He loved it so much, he said it twice.
If he says so.
Yeah, well.
Well, he likes the San Diego City Connect too, so what do you know?
Well.
Whoa. Do not make me be.
Whoa, slow down, Sunshine.
Slow your roll, Sunshine. Slow
exactly.
Your roll.
I'm gonna need for you to calm down. Anyways, so tonight I am wearing.
I'm doing the do.
You're doing the do. Tonight I am wearing another alternate of the Lake County Captains, one of their like 47 alternates that they have. So the powder blue and the navy blue. And tonight I am drinking Crystal Light.
Of course you are.
Of course I am. I'm 199 years old. So
you're
that's
so
what
old.
I am old. An old soul. Anyways, so to get started tonight, I think a lot of us went on some trips this weekend. In fact, all of us did to a certain degree. And as I start squeaking, all of us. Anyways, so let's see. How about the guys that went to Chattanooga and other places? So Virgil, Eric, you got one of you want to start us off on what the details of your trip were?
So in the month of April, I've seen you, and you. Haven't seen this one though. So the guy that's driving, I haven't seen you, but I've seen the other three plus Mrs. Mayor in April at ballpark. So where you at, Ed?
Aren't you coming down here?
Well, not till June, but yes.
Okay.
There's still 1 day left.
Yeah, let me get going right now. Hold on. I'm just gonna drive now. Okay.
You might as well not go. You're going to get canceled anyway.
Oh, that's fucked up.
So the basis of my trip was mostly to see AT&T Field before they moved to a new ballpark. So I didn't realize that AT&T Field has been around in Chattanooga since 2000. So it's 25 years old. It's I don't know. It was okay. The ballpark was fine, but nothing. I could tell it really needs a lot of work. So found out that they're moving about what they say 3 miles kind of south of where
it's
the
kinda
ballpark
south.
is now. So drove down to Little Rock super late at night, got there really late, got up early, drove the rest of the way over to Chattanooga the next day. Got to see the Lookouts that Friday night, and then on Saturday went over to the aquarium, and that was a lot of fun getting to take. So as Mrs. Influencer, little guy, and I, and they have two different sections. They have like an ocean side and a lake riverside, and so we went to the ocean side first, and then Shannon's best friend lives in Chattanooga. He got married in Chattanooga back in 2018. So that was the first time we went, but that was in February. So we didn't get to see a game then. So it's fun to get to meet up with them for lunch, and then met up with Virgil at the game, and ended up the game on Thursday got rained out. So they did a 7-inning doubleheader Saturday. So we got to see 2 games plus fireworks. And then from there, Sunday went over to Huntsville, well, I guess Madison technically, to see a Trash
Rocket
Bagels
City
game. So,
area.
yeah. So, I got to see 3 games actually in Chattanooga, which was a lot of fun. No ice cream helmets, which is really disappointing. I have a couple people looking for some helmets for me since I don't have one. But then had a fun time, and I think Easton and Shannon really enjoyed the ballpark in Madison. I've been there once before, but spent a little more time kind of looking around because we got in pretty early because the VIP next to you, Patrick. So overall pretty fun time. Drove back to Little Rock after the game on Sunday, and then finished the drive back from Little Rock. I got back yesterday afternoon. So a little extended weekend, birthday weekend. Little guy turned 4. So pretty fun.
Happy belated birthday to Easton, by the way.
Thank you.
Virgil, anything you want to add from your side?
So I was just going to be around on Friday, just wanting to hang out, and I'm over at Chattanooga Brewing Company, and then I hear this guy come in and says, "Hey, can I get your autograph?" And my first thought was like, this is the 3rd damn time this happened, but it was actually Eric.
Yeah.
It has to get annoying after the 3rd time. I mean, man.
But no, like I said, for that trip, I was kind of in the same boat. Like, I've been to AT&T a bunch of times, but since it is the last year, that gave me an excuse to go up.
Yeah.
And yeah, Eric, it was built in 2000, and it shows every year in it for sure. I still don't know how I feel about the new park. Not because like they need one. I just thought the location of the old park was already perfect. So I don't know how the new location is going to work yet, but we'll see how that is. But the thing on, but I did not go to the Friday game, but on the Saturday game, we missed like the first few pitches because it's nice and sunny out. There's supposed to be no storms, and then there's no pop-up downpour. And we're all going into we're just all in the concourse, and we were just kind of waiting for announcements of, hey, game's going to be delayed or whatever. No, they didn't delay it. They just started it right off the bat. So I think we missed like the first maybe 5 pitches from Burns. It wasn't a lot, but that was I had to show Eric what speed scorekeeping was because I had to write down everything so fast because I didn't have it prepared beforehand.
Yeah, I was like, well, let me go check to see if the tarp's still on the field. Get up there. I was like, not only is the tarp not on the field, Burns is on the mound. He's pitching. And so I was like, sorry, we're sprinting back down the stairs. I'm like, Virgil, they're playing. So we hustled back up there and got in our seats. So we didn't miss a lot of it. But yeah, they didn't do the national anthem until in between the games and didn't make any announcements. So we had no idea that they were playing but luckily we didn't miss too much. Only less than a batter. I think we saw I don't remember what the first batter did, but we didn't miss the end of it. Yeah, he walked. Good job, Virgil.
Hey, thank you. I will say, if you guys do go there for food, get the brisket mac and cheese. That was really good. I would recommend that.
I need to try to make it before they close this year, so I will certainly look out for that.
Yeah,
Another not fun fact, but so they have an escalator that you have to take up because it's like on a big hill or whatever, and little guy has on sandals, and the escalator ate half of his sandal. Luckily, didn't take him at all, but took off a big chunk at the back of his sandal, and so kind of upset him a little bit. I think more so, not that because he didn't get hurt, thankfully, but more so I think that he ruined his sandals. They weren't new, so that wasn't a bad thing. Well, we didn't bring any other pair, so Sunday morning before we went down to Madison, they ran over to Target and got him a new pair of shoes and everything that he was able to wear at the ballpark in Madison. But yeah, he got to the bottom, and then it just like he didn't step right, and it just like took the bottom half of one of his sandals right off. And so, but yeah, luckily he was fine. It didn't get his foot or anything.
I'm glad he's okay, but I'm guessing in that case he won't mind a new stadium in Chattanooga then.
Yeah,
that's one thing about that stadium. There's steps everywhere. The concourse is way down below.
Yeah.
Underneath. There's a lot of stairs.
I've never been to it, so.
Yeah, you have to take, it's just way up high up on a hill, and you have to take an escalator to get to more stairs, take those stairs up, and then from there you have to take more stairs to get up to the grandstand, the seating area. So yeah, it is a lot of stairs.
It's almost like a Looney Tunes thing where it just turns into a whole lot of stairs, and then you turn around, and then it just keeps going and going and going.
Yeah, so
once you get up to the field, you're coming in at the bottom of the seating. So if your seat's up near the boxes or something at the top, you've got more stairs to get up to the top of the stadium.
Luckily, I was third row. Virgil was fourth row behind the plate, so we had good seats. We didn't have to go up even more, but pretty good selection at the team store. I got this hat. I got a Southern League logo ball, and it was current, so it has the Clingstone's logo and says Knoxville Smokies instead of Tennessee. So
nice.
The ball I got was a current logo ball. Got my stamps in my passport book. Got a Lookouts lapel. So I got everything except an ice cream helmet.
I mean, it's pretty close.
And then Mrs. Influencer got a Lookout shirt as well. So pretty good time.
Nice.
All I heard, it was a total failure because you didn't get your ice cream helmet.
100% accurate, yeah. And so what's funny is every game I would, tweet, hey, on game whatever at the Lookouts, and they liked every single tweet except when I said, hey, they're terrible because they don't have ice cream helmets. Yeah, they didn't like that tweet.
Yeah. But he made sure to point out to me, hey guys, hey Patrick, you want to know how I'm an influencer? Every team that I posted about, they all liked my stuff. And he's like, he was wanting me to talk about how way above average he was and everything. And then because he just eggs it on.
That's right. So. And then there was a lot of really good food that we had in Rocket City. And I posted pictures of that. And
what is up, Mrs. Influencer?
Only 18. See, that's not that many because there was a bigger crowd than that. Although, to her surprise and probably Virgil's surprise, I made a friend sitting next to me at the Lookouts, and I told him all about. He's like, "How do you get these seats?" I'm like, "I know a guy." He's like, "Well, these are like our company seats," and I was like, "Okay." I was like, "Well, I know a guy," and then he's like, "Are you here for the Little League tournament?" I'm like, "No, I'm just here watching baseball, traveling around." And so I told him, he's like, "Man, you've inspired me. I think I want to start traveling around to see ballparks."
Oh,
he's influencing people all the time.
He was also trying to recruit me as a scorekeeper for his league.
He did. The guy's like, "Hey, do you want to scorekeep?" Virgil's like, "I probably would if I actually lived here, but I'm from Madison or Huntsville, so unfortunately I can't." So they had some Little League tournament going on that I think he's from there though, because he said he goes to quite a few games, and he said his claim to fame was getting to play at Ingalls Stadium, and I think he said he hit a home run there, which I got a chance to get over there Sunday before going out of town to see Ingle, and it's all barricaded up for the most part. but there was one little area down each line that you could see through a gate. And yeah, I did pull out my passport book too. I'm like, hey, look, check this out. You can get your you get a stamp at every ballpark. So I did show him that. But Ingle, it's really
Was
run
Wichita State
down.
not playing?
No, it's really run down, and the grass in the outfield was not too bad. It was mowed down pretty well, but the infield dirt, from what I could see, wasn't very good, and they had vines and stuff growing on the sides and everything. So yeah, Ingle's pretty run down. Everybody said that they had kind of spruced it up for a home run derby they had for the All-Star game years back, but yeah, they haven't done anything with it since. It's all there's shattered glass inside, and
Yeah,
the
we spruced
stairs
it up
were all
10 years
torn
ago.
up. So yeah.
Yeah, as Rhonda was saying, that our
Yeah.
we went there. It was in June, and it was the hottest game ever for her. Her sweat was sweating.
What is this? She was promoting Baseball Mapper instead of her own husband's podcast to this guy. She's like, "Oh yeah, you're gonna travel to ballparks? You should check out Baseball Mapper." I'm like, "Why are you promoting them? Why wouldn't you not promote my podcast where I'm doing different teams and talking about from different people? I even have the guy that's here at this ballpark. We had him on."
Oh, you got so mad about that. That was great.
Well, you can. Well, at least Virgil can make it onto one podcast.
I don't know if Virgil will ever meet up with us again after our back and
Why?
I mean, the man deserves to be on.
Why?
I'm going to
Why am I
bat
not on
for
the
him.
Podcast, Ed. That's the question. Why am I not there?
Yeah,
What kind of
exactly.
embargo are you putting on me?
I've been quiet this whole time as a guest, and then all of a sudden you're taking shots at me. I mean, what in the actual
listen.
podcast?
Guest or host, you know, you're always in the shooting line. You know, like you're always in the line of fire. So you have to be prepared at all times. That's what we do on this show.
All right, got something in my eye.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, the man made a tournament about someone I think that was like you. I mean, the man put a whole tournament together. You can't even get him on your show.
No. Hold on. Let's not get this twisted. That was for his own pleasure. Okay.
Wait a second. Are you talking about the blood, sweat, and tears that he put into that to create it for you?
Sure. Let's go with that.
Yeah.
Whatever makes you sleep at night.
Don't act like you're not texting me every day asking me where my damn bracket's at.
Mhm. Busted. But that bracket is busted.
I would never do such a thing.
Well, that sounds like a great trip, and I have to add that while he was on his trip, I did get a couple polos from Eric, and I got to hear him and Shannon going back and forth, and it was glorious. I have to tell you that absolutely made my day. So
I'm over here trying to talk to you, and then she has to jump in and interrupt, and I'm like, she's like, your polos are like 23 minutes. I'm like, it would have been 6 if you wouldn't stop messing with saying stuff.
It was absolutely glorious.
So just imagine driving out. We didn't go straight there, but probably would have been 13 to 14 hours or so. So just imagine just being in a car ride back and forth. I mean, Virgil knows he was around. He even went with us to get ice cream afterwards. And I'm surprised. Yeah, like I said, he'll probably be done with us after that little trip. So too much of us.
No,
going back
well,
and forth.
when he and Samantha from episode 128 have to babysit Easton when you guys go out on a date, he had to get prepared. So
hey, so they were poloing back and forth, and at one point we're sitting there getting ice cream, and Polo comes up, and Virgil hears from Samantha from episode 128. Tell Virgil I say hi, and he's like, "Wait, what?"
Almost made me drop my ice cream.
yeah,
That is true. Pretty much the entire from Madison to Little Rock, and then Little Rock back to Wichita. I pretty much slept the entire time.
I'm not surprised one bit.
But I did drive some, not the entire time, but
30
I
minutes.
did do some. Yeah.
My friend is kind.
No, I drove all the way from, and she actually came to watch. Zach had games tonight. She came over to watch Zach's games tonight, but
I love it.
I drove from here to Tulsa, and then I drove from Chattanooga down to Madison. So I drove a little bit. It was not 3. It was probably 8. And remember, Patrick, how we were saying who the speed demon is?
Yes.
Yeah.
She got pulled over?
Yeah, but she just got a warning.
Oh, okay.
She was almost sure it was 75.
Yeah.
And he said, I got you doing 78. I'm like, I mean, technically he could pull you over, but for doing 3 over, I said it was probably 70 or maybe 65. We could literally see the sign in our line of sight where it was about to change to 80.
Yeah.
I know technically you have to wait till you get past it, but we could see the sign when you're about to get to 80 just west of Tulsa.
Yeah.
But it was just really quick, and he's just like, make sure you be safe. So luckily,
that's good.
Yeah.
Well, glad that you all are safe.
He just said that guy going by is not average. I got to stop him.
That's right. But I was not driving at that point, so that was not on me.
Oh, but he was watching you. He saw you.
That's right.
He wanted an earned fund average sticker is what he wanted.
That's right.
I do have one story to tell that about Rocket City, though.
That would be sorry. It would be funny to hand him a sticker with your license if you were driving.
Like human trafficking, or just trafficking where people are speeding?
Probably both.
Well, I was not doing the first, so don't come after me for that.
Yeah, I mean.
Okay, Virgil, I'm sorry, I interrupted you.
Well, yeah, I mean, yeah, go ahead. Go ahead, Virgil.
So let me ask Patrick and Donnie a question.
Okay.
When you guys are at team stores and you're trying on hats, how long does it take you to decide?
Patrick, honestly,
it takes me a bit.
Thank you.
Because I will try on like multiple like 7 1/2 or 7 5/8 because they fit differently.
Yeah. Now
it takes me.
I'm quick. I'm very quick.
If you had somebody that's starting at the end of the line, let's say your significant other and your child, and you're working all the way up to the line, and you're almost out there, and then you hear Prophet select a hat. Do you think you would have selected a hat by then?
If you are with somebody who you want to have them pay for your stuff and you know they're not ready yet, why would you hop in line?
I don't know, maybe because it was ample time for you to have a hat.
There was not, because anytime I thought I found one that fit, it had like stitching issues, or I found quite a few issues with it. Most of them for my normal 7 1/2 were too tight, so I had to keep going through. I went through probably the entire row, and then she rushed me, and I finally just grabbed one at that point. But I was like, if you wanted me to get your stuff, then you just need to wait and not be in line until you know that I'm ready.
But that's not the worst part. The worst part
I'm with Eric, though. I'm with Eric. Listen, you're spending $40+ on a hat. I'm going to damn make sure that hat fits me.
I'm sorry, why is the guest talking?
My bad. Continue.
The
shadow is talking.
The worst part was he came to the register after she was done and leaving. So he basically cuts the line in front of everybody else. And I'm standing there with I'm standing there with my season ticket ID, and I'm giving people I'm waiting to see who's going to throw a stink eye so I could stare back at him. And luckily it never came to that, but I'm thinking, this guy, oh my God.
Did he make you, let me guess, did he make you pay for it?
No.
No. I just used my discount.
Yeah.
Okay.
He was gracious enough to give us a discount, but she was mad that I didn't pay for her stuff. Easton wanted he gets all those stuffed animals, which he got a Louis from the Lookouts, and then wanted to get the Sprocket, but Sprocket was like 4 times the size of most of the other stuffed animals, so it was pretty expensive.
He had some long ass legs.
Yeah, Sprocket's like $200 or something like that. No, I'm kidding. I don't know.
But there's a picture she posted. So there's Easton holding the stuffed Sprocket with the actual Sprocket next to a figurine of Sprocket. So a Sprocket overload in one of the pictures she took.
I love it.
That was pretty cool because I got my picture with the bobblehead Sprocket when I was there because the mascot wasn't around. And then later I did get the mascot as well, but I never got a stuffy either, so I only had.
Although I do have to say, the influencer's hat choice that he got at that was absolutely on point. That snapshot blue one with the R and the rocket,
yeah.
that was an outstanding choice.
I love that color.
Yeah, so do I. So that was an outstanding choice from you. Well, that sounds like a really, really fun trip with all the domestic disputes and everything in between. So, but Donnie, I think you took a trip this weekend too, didn't you? And in fact, you were, I believe, too good to see a few of us before you had to go off to bigger and better things and on Saturday or something like that. I don't know. Please tell us about what you did.
Well,
hey,
I had to come.
When you're in Durham, let me know when you're in Durham. I'll go meet you for lunch or something. Okay, cool. I will. Crickets.
He had.
We
literally
got
to go to hockey games. So
we literally got to Durham like 4:30. So this is the one thing I'll say about the Chili Peppers is they need to improve their communication. The whole thing as far as the game time, the gates, and what's going on is very tough to follow with them. I mean, the Cosmic Baseball was fantastic. I mean, it really is. It's more of a real game. But we got to it was probably going on 4:30 or so when we got to Durham and got to the parking garage, and I was afraid we weren't even going to have a place to park, but it worked out pretty good. But we thought the game started at or the gates opened at like 5:30. Game started at 6:30, but it wasn't. It was gates not even opening till 6:30.
Right,
and
because there was the block party.
Right, because of the block party and everything, but none of their paperwork seemed to indicate everything very accurately. But it all worked out great. I mean, we still had a good time. It was a real fun experience. The block party was very cool out there. The DJ was crazy, playing some good music and stuff. And I didn't know that the glow emojis were their nemesis team. I had not even seen anything about that specifically until I got there. And I was like, what's all this?
Me neither. And
I saw the merch and the uniforms, and those uniforms were crazy good.
Yeah.
That the glow emojis were wearing.
Yep.
So anyway, we had a great time with that going in. I mean, it's a great – I love that, like I said, I love that they play like a regular game. They have some tweaks to it. I don't know. Did they do the Uno card thing for you guys on Saturday? Where one of the kids picks an Uno card. So they did this thing. The MC went up to one of the kids and she pulled a reverse card out of the stack of Uno cards. So they had to play an entire inning where they ran the bases backwards. So if you got a hit, you went to third, second, first. The base order was backwards.
Well, we had one guy that ran to third, but I didn't think it was because of an Uno card.
Well, they had it for the whole inning was supposed to be that way. So the first base umpire came over to third. And it was hilarious watching the guys when they'd get a hit, like their brain had to switch and go the other direction. Yeah. And just seeing the players run opposite direction and make plays from opposite direction was hilarious. But the fact that it was really a real game, wasn't the point system, not, I mean, the whole banana thing is what it is. It's a different thing. But this was really cool because it was more just a baseball game and just had a few tweaks to it. The home run or the fungo thing was kind of cool with the walk. And then when they got to the glow part, the second half of the game, that's unbelievable. I mean, they put those black lights on and you watch those guys make those plays in the dark, basically. That's phenomenal. And then the home run derby after each inning is fantastic. It's just so much fun. It's a whole different twist on the game, and that's what they're going for. They came from the same league, the CPL, that the Bananas did. They saw what the Bananas did, and they're trying to do their own little thing. So my crew on Friday, it was just 6 of us for that game, had a fantastic time.
There's only 6 of you?
It was only 6 of us
for
that game. But we had a great time. We had perfect seats. We were on the front row right there in front of the tarp along the third base line, up against the netting. What's funny is there was a guy, I don't know if you saw the kids down there at the ends of all the rows, and players would come up during the game signing autographs. Mm-hmm. Late in the game, when it was dark, there was a guy that was sitting there signing autographs because we were right at the aisle, and kids would be able to hand stuff through the netting there because it was an opening. Somebody hit a screamer down the third base line, And one of the fans, this lady, she was kind of leaning forward looking at the player. Well, the ball hit the net and there was so much give, it busted her right in the side of the head. I mean, it was she took a shot. That was crazy.
Wow.
She ended up being okay, but
That's good.
I was like, what's going on with her? And I realized what happened.
Yep.
But anyway, we had a great time Friday, and then Saturday, like you said, we headed down to Clemson for the big 81,000 people at Death Valley.
Yeah.
That was insane too. That's a unique experience. The
Gross.
team running down the hill to start the game. Dabo came in and ran down the hill with them. They had a lot of unique things that they did to.
Did you see all the Clemson baseball parents of Clemson baseball players like you did when we were in California?
Hang on. Are you hearing me? Because I'm not hearing you now.
Oh no.
Are you serious?
There
Are you doing that on purpose? Oh, did the battery go out on that one earbud?
I think I'm gonna
Hang on.
Well, anyways, that was great. So Ed, since
What happened to my audio?
Since you're one of our guests, Ed, what was your
can't hear you
experience
guys.
about?
Cut this dude out.
Yeah, mute him.
Yeah, I'm gonna take him. We're removing you for a few minutes. There we go. So Ed, what did you think of? What did you think of the Cosmic Baseball?
Well, first of all, let's go back because we actually spent some time hanging out with people at the Sandlot Collective.
Yeah, please go into that. That was all thanks to you.
Right. So Carolina Sandlot Collective had their event going on at the old Durham Bulls Stadium, which, by the way, is still in use. Central Carolina, which is an HBCU college, uses it to play their games there. So it's still an active baseball field, which is cool. I loved it. I mean, it had the 80s, 90s vibe to it, so it was very cool. It's something cool that I gotta say it, Patrick. I'm gonna say it.
If you weren't going to, I was going to. So please go ahead. It's your story to tell.
So Patrick and I were talking. It was just me, Patrick, and Melissa. We're just hanging out, and a lady stopped us when we were in conversation. She goes like, "I'm sorry, are you the Dad Hat?" I was recognized in the wild, guys.
Whoa.
He was.
I was taken aback, which is cool. But it was the guy who apparently kept looking at his phone, trying to figure out on Instagram whether or not that was me.
He was too nervous to ask himself, so the lady he was with asked for him.
Yeah.
And so if you guys saw that picture that Ed posted of that guy, I mean, I was there legitimately. He was like, he basically talked about how he was a big fan of Ed's, and he looked at me like he'd never seen me. He couldn't tell me from Adam, but anyway,
So true.
yeah, it is. But anyways, it was cool to see that he knew about the podcast and
corporate media and all of that. So
yeah,
it was cool.
yeah. So I thought that was really cool that Ed got recognized. And then what about Ed? Tell him about the lady next to you.
Oh, so there was a lady next to me. What was it? Was that the time that where the on-field guy was trying to move the kids?
No, well, this is where she said, "Are you famous or something?"
Yeah. I was like, "No, I'm just a podcaster."
Yeah, but anyways, like the guy
was very cool.
He was, yeah. I mean, and people were looking at Ed, and then the guy wanted to take a picture with Ed, and so
me and the dog became BFFs too. So
yeah, so I was there in the presence of a celebrity.
It was cool because there was like a lot of teams from other areas too, a lot of Sandlot teams, which by the way gave me I got the bug, and I'm like, I told one of the owners of the team, the Carolina Kazoos, this is their hat, right? I was like, man, listen, can I try out for your team? And he was like, yeah, actually, you can just come to the open, you can try out for any team, and then whoever has a need, they'll just pick you up, So yours truly is going to be trying out for a Sandlot team.
Very nice.
I love that.
So very
And then,
excited for that.
And then I also witnessed Ed, setting up new guests for his podcast. And
Sure did.
yeah, I mean, maybe one day Virgil will be on there, but he's asking other people in the meantime, Virgil.
Well, I figured. Sure, whatever.
Yeah, yeah.
That's cool.
Oh, no, he got silent.
Listen, also, Cosmic Baseball was great.
Yep. Well, I mean,
great.
it's nice how Jesse Cole paid Donnie to be critical of their directions and the lack of clarity that he received on start time. So that was really nice of Jesse Cole to pay for that, pay you to do that, Donnie. Very nice.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, Donnie, welcome back. Glad you're with us.
Hey, sorry about that. I don't know.
Yeah,
My earbuds, I didn't realize I couldn't hear you guys. And I guess, did you still hear me talking?
Oh,
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Donnie.
Okay.
Yeah,
All right,
we sure
sorry.
did.
It's not
By the way,
the.
Mrs. Influencer said she loves how you just keep talking. So
It's not the earbuds that were the issue. It's the age where you can't hear.
Well, I've had total earbud problems, so
Yeah.
I think I'm going to stick with the
So-
plugged in, the
So, Ed,
cord.
yeah. Ed, did we talk
Donnie.
up Did we talk up EFA while we were at the Sandlot?
We sure did. Hey, Donnie, I gotta
Yes.
say though, when you were talking about the teams, like there were some things that like they need to work on. This was evident, obviously, but it was brought to our attention that yes, this was their first stop, so there had to be some things that they were going to be working through it. From what we understood, and then I think you also heard this too, Patrick, was that there was other members of other baseball clubs there to figure out how it was going to be able to work in their ballpark as well, because they're doing this whole tour thing. So it was, it's like Durham being the first one, so it was pretty cool though. Talking to your girl who was there, so she was talking to us about that, and then the whole police officer thing, that was a cool highlight moment.
It really was.
That was cool.
It was. So there was a guy that's like legitimately a member of the police department there that was pitching, and boy, he had some great stuff.
Yeah.
He was.
Oh yeah.
He was legit talented. Because I thought maybe he was just a guy, like a former pitcher dressed in like a police uniform. No, he was like a legit, sworn in officer of the law. And he was
Durham police.
with Durham police. And boy, he threw some heat.
Member of the YMCA?
What's that?
Member of the YMCA?
No, that was
This,
Donnie.
this guy.
But it was cool though. Like the Cosmic Baseball. And listen, you guys know how critical I am of Banana Ball. So you guys take this as grain of salt.
I don't. Can you tell us how critical you are of it?
I am very critical.
No.
But anyway, I enjoyed it more just because it stuck with truer to the game of baseball, with still having some cool things added to it. Also, the music was great. It was 90s music, so I was all about it.
The music was excellent.
Oh my god, yeah, it was great. The neon colors were great. The uniforms were great. The whole concept was just great. And then the home run derby to end the game was even better. That was awesome.
Yeah, because the Chili Peppers came back and won that game. For ours Friday night, the Glow Emojis were dominating. I mean, they were jacking some home runs. They scored a lot of runs early, but the home run derby allowed the Chili Peppers to come back. And I think there was one of the home run derbies that the Glow Emojis didn't get any home runs, and that made the difference.
See, the glow emojis won in our game. So
Okay.
Right. I was just gonna say that. Yeah.
yeah.
And on a home run derby too, like at the end too.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, and I mean, it was just fun. Like for me, just observing, like I loved seeing the experience that some of the kids had. Like I loved seeing how Ed's daughter, Mia, was so excited to, she was just waiting for that cosmic thing to go. And, let me tell you this, those bubble machines, those little sticks, I'm telling you, let's just say Mia got one, and it was one of the highlights of the night.
I see that. So my daughter's taking my daughter to the bathroom, and on the way back, this kid comes back with like the sword of Grayskull you know.
those were awesome looking little
They
swords,
were,
weren't they?
they were amazing. They were
And
amazing.
this
And then,
kid is like, Daddy, look what I got. I'm like, oh shit.
yeah, like just seeing the look on Ed's face was priceless. It was great.
Like, sweet Jesus. Like, how much
Yeah.
did we spend on that thing?
You said I don't want to know.
Not only that, you know what? Who hasn't used it since we got it? Yeah.
Man.
Well, I will say this: having watched that back to back with Banana Ball, and I take Banana Ball for what it is. I know
Yeah.
it's not a
Yeah.
ball game;
I
it's
did
an
the same thing.
entertainment thing.
The Globe
It's a
Trotters,
circus.
yes.
He's saying
Yeah,
this
and-
now in front of Ed.
No. It's
No, he
so-
is a K Club devotee.
it's fun. I enjoy going to it, but I go to it knowing what I'm going to. I don't go
Right.
to it because it's a baseball game.
Sure.
And I will say this: for everything the Bananas do, I did enjoy the experience better with the glow, with the chili peppers and the cosmic baseball, just because it was. Sometimes the banana ball can just be too much sensory overload. I mean, it is nonstop. And that's just what they do. It's all about the entertainment. There's constantly stuff going on.
Yeah.
I went back and watched a few things on it on ESPN the other night because it's streaming, just to kind of see what the perspective was of the broadcast versus being there. And I mean, just in the first inning, there was stuff that I missed because of things going on the field. I'm like, when did they do that? But if I had the choice, I probably would go back and see more of cosmic baseball than banana ball. If you just said you got to pick one or the other, because I like the regular baseball aspect of it. But they both have their place. I just think the banana ball thing at some point is going to have to steer back towards smaller venues. I mean, that football stadium was insane. That there was 81,000 people there. Good for him, but
yeah,
I can't imagine being in the upper deck trying to keep up with any of that.
I was
And
just
that was-
going to
that was
ask
kinda
you,
my
Donnie.
thinking.
I was going to ask you this question, and then I'll hop on so I can get on the computer. But let me ask you this, because obviously you're more of the fan of the banana balls than the rest of us are, especially more than me, obviously. But do
That
you
doesn't take
think
much.
that like an 81,000 seat stadium, like, do you think that all of that banana ball would be there's an oversaturation of the market when it comes to banana ball? That's just like, okay, that's a little too much now. Like, you've gotten so high now. Like, what are you gonna do now? Like, and I don't know if it's sustainable enough. Like, what do you think?
I don't think it's long-term sustainable at that level. And I'll say, and this is why I say that, because in the K Club Facebook page, all I have seen for 2 days are people complaining about the crowds, the lines of the food. These are people that have paid the K Club membership to have access to get these tickets. There are people like, I'm canceling my K Club membership. Now, they may be fair weather to begin with. I don't know. But I just cannot see how there's going to constantly be this kind of demand at these big stadiums for an extended period of time. There's going to be so many people that are going to be like that are one and done, that are going to have a bad experience because it's 40,000, 50,000 people. They're not going to do 81,000 everywhere. This is one kind of a once in a blue moon thing for them, I think. Most NFL stadiums aren't quite even that big.
Yeah, don't say never. Don't say never,
No,
because you got
no.
Michigan Stadium. That's 101,000.
Well, that's true. And I've already seen somebody say something on there about them trying to do the Coliseum in Los Angeles at 100-something thousand people. People like suggesting it, not that the Bananas are saying that they want to do it. But I think at some point, just my perspective is it cannot continue at this level. Maybe it will. Maybe I'll be surprised. But this whole thing they're planning for next year by adding 2 more teams, they're hoping to make it a league, a little more round robin play between the teams. So I don't know. I think ultimately they've got to go back to smaller venues in some capacity to have a long-term sustainability. I think they just keep trying to go to these big stadiums. People are going to be sick and tired of the crowd.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, I think even if you're talking about a venue of 54,000 or 60,000, like, to me, that's still too many to really take it in, because one thing I liked at least about Durham is that it was the intimacy of the venue. Yeah, it's not the smallest park; it's a AAA ballpark, right? But it's not a big football stadium or a big college football stadium, right?
Or even an MLB stadium.
Yeah, because I'm with you. Like I'm not anti banana ball. Like I like it for what it is too. I mean, I take it for what it is, but
and maybe I'm spoiled by having the K Club.
Cosmic baseball was refreshing for me.
Yeah, I agree. And maybe I'm spoiled by having the K Club membership and having access to get those good seats. Because I can tell you right now, if I had to sit in the upper deck, or if I did not have the opportunity to get seats around, the between the bases, between first and third, around behind the plate somewhere along the baselines, I wouldn't go to the games. It's just I've sat in the outfield one time because we were late getting there with some other friends at Kannapolis year before last, and it was a horrible experience from my standpoint because I had seen it from behind home plate.
Sure.
I didn't enjoy it out there, and I felt bad for my friends that their first experience was watching banana ball from the outfield, not seeing all the stuff up close and personal. Yeah. And I couldn't imagine someone sitting in the far corner upper deck at Clemson Stadium, as far away from home plate as you can be, and enjoying it as much as they would if they were down closer. But I mean, we'll see what happens. I don't know what he's going to go with the 6 teams next year, what the plans are. I'm sure they're going to continue to do lots of tweaks and things, but it is what it is.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to going and seeing it in Savannah in August, because that's such a small stadium. It's a whole different perspective there as well.
My favorite Bananas experience was when I went to see them play while they were still in the CPL, like in Savannah. That's my favorite experience, seeing the Bananas.
Like the actual team in Savannah?
Yeah.
Yeah, we saw the Bananas CPL team play here in Lexington a couple seasons ago, before the year before they stopped playing. And it was funny because the people that packed the stadium were looking for the banana ball experience. And like, this isn't the same thing. No. And that's why Jesse stopped doing the CPL team, because of the brand identity.
Wait, hold on a second. Time out. Wait. So here's my thing on that. He could have changed the name of the team. And CPL.
I agree. He didn't want the confusion, and he didn't want to he didn't want to change the team. I don't think he wanted to deal with that. I think he just wanted to focus on this one thing.
He wanted the attention on himself.
Yeah,
and that's what it was.
Yeah.
So let's be honest.
I meant to catch up on a few of these chats. Phil, yes, Ed did give the guy a sticker. In fact, Ed went right to his bag and gave the guy a sticker. So he was the consummate, celebrity giving the fan what they wanted. So, Ed, if you try out, have the icy hot ready. Lynn said that Sioux City just signed a pitcher the Sioux City exit signed a pitcher who's a representative in the Iowa State Legislature. Isn't that the one that played for them last year too?
He's been with the team, JD Shelton.
Yeah,
he's been with them.
Yeah, that's what I thought. And then Lynn said, I've got to get a Glowmoji cap. Yeah, I tried
Virgil.
to get the one that Donnie got, but they were sold out of that one. So I got
I bought the last one.
Virgil, are you excited to get your Glowmoji hat in the mail?
Oh, definitely.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I'm sure it'll be waiting for me when I.
Yep.
I thought about getting one.
I thought about you guys, but
That's why I said what I said earlier, because I didn't send you guys anything about that one either.
Yeah. And then apparently Virgil tried to buy Easton a giant raccoon pillow.
Listen, it was his birthday.
Mm-hmm.
He came up with it. Asked Miss Influencer if he can get it, and she said no. And I'm like, it's his birthday. I'll buy it. I was swiftly vetoed.
This is from Uncle Virgil and Aunt Samantha.
I was swiftly vetoed, and I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna leave it alone.
He was already told no.
He was already told no.
You can't override the veto.
No, you can't.
Once that veto was said, I'm like, I'm dropping it.
Yeah.
Miss
Influencer, you're talking about when Ed said banana balls. Okay, fantastic.
Banana balls.
Yeah, anyways, Mrs. Influencer agrees that it's oversold. She said they couldn't see anything in OKC. Lynn, I can second the K Club group gripe, so she sees it as well. Yeah, so Lynn, I'll be interested to hear what your perspective is on that as well. Yeah, okay. Yeah, that's a good point. I didn't think about that. But anyways, well, gentlemen, we have gone an hour talking about our trips, and yet we haven't even gotten to any of the news on the day because we are a very organized with it sports show. So
I'm just a guest.
Oh no, I fully expected this to go an hour before we actually
yeah,
started
well,
about this. So this is perfect.
well, I want everyone to have a chance to talk about their trips, and so Mr. Producer, how about I turn it over to you to kind of get into some of our topics for the week? And by the way, this show is sponsored by Old Fort Baseball Co. So, anyways, Virgil, I'll turn it over to you.
All right, so we've got some new logos to talk about. We've got some refreshes to talk about, even maybe a new mascot or two. And then we're going to jump around into some just stories about different sports. And I also want to spend some time talking about the draft fallout, about what you guys thought about what your teams did. But before we do that, let's go ahead and hop into minor league baseball. We're going to go to our friends with Lehigh Valley. And I seriously thought this already existed. I did not know this was new for some reason. I thought they brought this out probably like years ago. The Lehigh Valley Steelworkers.
But isn't that what pig iron is? Pigs? I mean, no, I'm just kidding. It's a good take on their real identity.
Mm-hmm.
So do I need to go into like a bigger picture here? Like,
Yeah, just click on the picture.
Like that?
There it is.
I love that hat with the goggles.
The goggle hat,
with the goggles on it? Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It's very reminiscent of is it Jersey Shore that has the sunglasses with the reflection in it? Yeah.
That's correct. Yeah. Yep. And it also reminds me of the it wasn't an on-field hat, but do you guys remember the Cannonballers one that had the Cannonballers goggles on it?
Yep.
I wanted to get one of those, and they don't have them anymore. I wish they'd bring that one back.
Yeah, that's a cool hat. All right. Then let's see. I think
Rhonda wants a raccoon pillow, Virgil.
Well, come to Rocket City, I'll buy you one.
Okay.
What am I gonna get
Sold.
if I make it over there?
okay. And so Mr. Producer, what do we have next?
I'm sorry, hold on. What did you say, Ed?
What do I get when I make it over there?
I don't know. Put me on the podcast and you'll find out. Next team.
Touche.
Next thing we're going to look at is the Asheville Snot Otters.
Ooh.
That is a Ryan Foose design.
Yeah, let's see.
I did not know what to think when I saw the name or heard the name or saw the name. I was like, "What?"
I think it's hilarious.
It is hilarious.
We should.
And it's cool what it is.
You should ask our friend Paul Caputo how he feels about it.
Please do.
You guys will get a good one out of that.
Yeah,
Probably,
well,
For those
probably
who
the same as the pitch clock.
yeah.
This is based off the Hellbender salamander, which is actually an aquatic giant salamander that is in Western North Carolina.
See,
So
Paul
wouldn't-
wanted it to keep the Hellbender name instead of the
I was going to say, wouldn't Hellbenders have been a better name?
Maybe.
Nah,
But I
Maybe.
like the Snot Otters.
No, I love the logo. Now, is this this looks like a Ryan Foose.
It is Ryan Foose.
Yeah, and you want to know how I can tell, like with the eyes on the characters, they all have a distinct Ryan Foose.
Yeah, that's good.
You can tell because Ed already said that.
You what?
But it's okay. Let him. Aaron.
And you talk
Oh,
about
did I completely
you
miss
talk about
that?
my
I'm sorry.
hearing, me being old.
Yeah,
What-
well,
are
well,
these
you know,
things
I do
on?
drink Crystal Light, so
I
you
was
know
just
you
gonna
have
say
to
he
give me a
drinks
little.
Crystal Light, so he's old.
Yeah, so you
Well,
know, give
guys,
me
he is screen sharing right now. It's taking up a whole nother sense of responsibilities here.
listen. My driver's license says BC on it. Okay, so
This guy tells us to listen. I don't know if you can scroll down. I like kind of the jersey.
you like kind of the jersey.
Well, I got to see it again.
Let's see. Don't know if it's.
You're going the wrong way.
It is further down.
Thanks, Sherlock. I didn't realize that.
I know you didn't.
Mm-hmm.
Keep going.
There we
There it
go.
is. Yeah, see, I like that jersey. Kind of reminds me of, was it Double Dare? With
Yes.
the slime?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
it's got a Nickelodeon look to it, doesn't it?
Yeah, I like that
I mean,
jersey.
Double Dare was on Nickelodeon, so
We know. Don't rush him. He needs his time to.
I will
decide
be
what he
going to
likes.
Asheville this summer, so
Oh my god. There's
All
nothing wrong
right.
with taking your time. There's nothing wrong. I got you, Eric.
thank you. Appreciate that.
So that's it for the brand new identities. There's a refresh that did catch my eye. The Western Michigan Copa refresh.
Oh, well, give me a second. I will pull that up.
But while you're pulling that up,
It won't
can
take me
I-
about 5 minutes.
Can I let you guys know about the Carolina Mudcats?
What about them?
They've given up on life.
Have they?
You knew that though.
Yeah, like this is nothing new.
The mascot looks like they just said, "Fuck it, I'm done."
It's just probably sadder to see it in person, isn't it?
It's so sad.
Yeah.
But see, I felt like I kind of had a feeling that that's maybe because that's what.
Hey,
Oh,
That's
Yeah.
okay. You can probably pause
you can
that.
pause it out. You can turn it off.
Sure you don't want to listen to it again? I mean,
no.
So according to Johnny, the New Orleans Baby Cakes were like that in their final season, and I know it was just the first game of the year, but I thought that Modesto seemed like they were pretty much all in. They had good crowd, lots of food, and the lines were long for the food. So now it could be towards the end of the season, it could be worse, but I thought Modesto was trying to go all out.
Modesto's social media is all in. I mean, they've been on. They were on a tear to start the season. They were, tearing it up on the field. Everything's been positive from what I see from them.
I was under the impression that Modesto wasn't moving away because of an attendance problem, just because of the facilities.
True.
Yeah, so I did get. I mean, even the merchandise is like very ugh. You know what I mean? It's like very little, not a whole lot. Obviously, it's that team store is very small. There is one thing that I did get just because they're going away, but I got the 35-year pin.
Oh, that's cool.
They didn't have any of the regular logo when we went last year, so I had
They still don't. They still don't have the regular pin. They got this one, and
so I had to get the micro brews.
They didn't even have the micro brews. All they had was this one and the Copa one. That's it. And when it comes to pins.
So going to this comment here, going back to a quick story. So when Virgil was talking about how it just had a pop-up shower.
Done.
All the seats got wet. So, the ushers had their towels and were trying to dry off everybody's seats. So are you really bringing that back up to play that again while I'm trying
we never actually talked about this one.
No.
So Easton was like, I'm going to help out. And so he goes up to the usher, gets a towel, and starts wiping down all the empty seats, drying them off. And as he's drying them all off, these two guys came to sit in their seats. And so Easton walks over, dries their chairs for them, and they give him $5 for drying off the seats. But he did like 4 rows, just taking the towel from the usher, drying down all the seats that got all wet. And then, these two guys that were sitting down was like, here you go, here's $5. So he gave Easton $5 for drying off his seat.
For all your hard work. That's awesome. Nice.
That's 2 guys that get it.
He was entertained. He did that for good 10, 15 minutes. Like I said, like probably 4 or 5 different rows, just going up to each seat and just wiping them all down, drying them off and everything.
Yeah,
so he really enjoyed that.
Oh, you could have been my kid dancing in the middle of the aisle, trying to grab as much confetti as possible. So
that was
you
great.
Could have that.
Or bubbles.
Oh, bubbles. I'm just saying. Oh my God, bubbles! So I'm just saying.
She was very well behaved though for the most. She was very well behaved.
By the way, I fought a kid for baseball tonight.
And there was kids there on a Tuesday night.
Yeah, did you win?
There. The kids were trying to gang up on me, but I had to defend myself. And
they went for the knee, didn't they? They went for the knee.
They went for the knee.
Can we confirm what Lynn's talking about here?
There's new colors for the Jersey Shore crab baseball cap. So, Lynn, I think that's a custom, if I'm not mistaken. Are you talking about like the brown and the blue one? Like it's almost like a dirt color, like a tan. Because I think I know the one I know the one that she's talking about.
Unless they released something new while we were talking.
Here, no, let me see if I can pull it up.
Well, we have to go to Jersey Shore to our next destination anyway, so.
Okay. Well, I was going to pull up the team store real quick and see if I can.
It says it's they posted 11 hours ago. New Era custom crab emblem bronze and navy 5950 is the New Era cap item of the month.
That's what I was thinking of.
But it is, it's a custom.
I was trying to find it. Let's see. New Arrivals 2025.
If you go to Blue Claws on MILB store.
Yeah, that's where I am.
Okay. I do like that color scheme. That is kind of cool.
Yeah, I'm going through the new arrivals.
Willamia, he's at that. Listen, let's get these kids together. They will dance the whole night.
So, Ed, while he's looking for that real quick, outside of the mascot, did you get a feel for like the rest of the announcers or the crowd, or is everybody just giving up, or is it like just a little bit like the mascots like
I'm
done?
gonna say this. I think it's because it was a Tuesday, but man, they didn't even look like they were just like whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They were just hanging out, talking. You know what I mean? Like the on-field stuff was so like.
Yeah. Is this
half-ass.
Lynn? Is this the one you were talking about?
Yeah, I don't hate that. I kind of like that color scheme.
like
I have the regular one, and if you get a chance to get a Shoretown, I'd highly recommend it. One of my favorite ballparks.
Friend of the show, Bob McLean.
But yeah,
Yes, sir.
Donnie, to your
GM.
question. It just honestly, it just looks like they know it. They're not gonna be there next season. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And the ballpark is really not that bad. It has some good bones. So, like, if you really give it a good update to the ballpark, you could have an independent team there play, and it'll do really well.
I got another quick story to backtrack to that dude that was sitting next to me in Chattanooga. He was telling about the ballparks, and he asked how many I've been to. So I told him, I said, I think I'm at 50, 52 or so, 53. And he's like, so how many's left? I'm like, well, that leaves roughly about 66 or so. He goes, oh, so you should be able to hit that next year. You should have seen the expression and the reaction and what Mrs. Influencer said. She's like, absolutely not. He's not going to hit the 66 ballparks all in one year. I was like, I mean, I could do it, but
I thought he gave you a 2-year time frame.
No, he originally said just next year.
Next year.
This comment was wild.
Yeah. Well, like you wish you could hit the 66 within the next year. You would do it.
Yeah, and I said no, it'd probably take a little bit longer, and then I think he said maybe 2. But yeah, originally he said, "Oh, you can do that next year for sure."
You're gonna take like a 6-month sabbatical from work and then just go around and hit 66 ballparks.
Hey, I'd be all in for that. I'll do
I
that
know you
for
would
sure.
So, did you guys like the Western Michigan Copa refresh that we just kind of skipped over? Okay, good. Let's go on to the mascot.
No, I missed it.
Hey, I did share it.
Patrick shared it. What were you doing?
That wasn't the one that Patrick kept playing the music on?
That was it, yeah.
Do I need to go back to it?
Well, since
No.
no.
I was playing along. Never mind. Go ahead.
So that's
the
it
one
for
that you play
refreshers.
over and over and over again.
The only thing I am trying to get the reins of the show back, so I guess we're going to have to finish under 2 hours here. So the next one I want to talk about, we're going to go to Somerset for the Jersey Diners. They have unveiled a new mascot.
Oh, I saw that. Yeah.
That was cool.
Yeah. Do you want me to pull that up, Virgil?
Yeah, go ahead and pull that up.
Okay.
He asked like, "Nah, don't worry about it. We'll just skip over that one."
Just imagine what it looks like. It's just based on vibes.
It's the same thing over and over again. Let's be honest. Hey, Donnie, is this one of the ones you were talking about earlier? By the way, while he's doing that.
Yeah, I like that one. And then there was another one you had. I think it was a gray one that had a really cool logo on it. It was another animal. gray one,
No, it wasn't gray. It was brown.
or is it? Oh yeah. Okay, yeah, the rat and the ball. Yeah, that
This is the possum.
There he is.
the possum. Okay, yeah,
Let's see.
yeah, that's cool.
Let me get this added up. Okay.
So it was cool.
There he is.
Let's hear it for the
I'm done
official
here.
Jersey Niners mascot.
There we go. Anyways,
Cool. Cup
That
of
was a little
Joe.
too much.
you what?
No, it's a mascot.
There we go. There's a little bit better view of him. There you go.
It's nice to see when you have such a successful alternate identity that you're dedicating budget for a new mascot for it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Because
I like
mascots
it.
are not cheap.
Mm-mm.
no, that's an alternate identity that's got some staying power right there.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Well, considering all the different alternate marks that Ryan Fuchs did for them for that we've all seen.
I'm going to go ahead and pull the curtain behind what I'm working on, but they are number one seed on our alternate identities bracket for sure.
Okay.
They're maybe not overall, but they're definitely going to be a number one seed.
Okay.
See, I thought the Fireflies, if they lock into the grits being a regular thing, which they should, because that's just a normal Southern thing, that mascot that they have with the upside down hat of grits at the spoon, if they had a costume like that, oh, that'd be fantastic.
That would be cool to see.
I feel like Wichita should have a Tomb of Lacas mascot. It's just but it's on its back the entire time.
Yes. Yes, please.
They did unveil last year Tubby, the Turbo Tubs mascot, and they're doing Turbo Tubs weekend at the end of May. But they did bring out, and in addition to Wendy, they do now have Tubby.
Nice. So the only other thing to talk about for minor league baseball, Madison Mallards are doing a tease that's coming out tomorrow. This will be alternate identity number 526.
Is that it?
But who's counting?
Who's keeping score here? So I don't know if you want to pull up the image or not for that one.
Yeah,
When that first popped up, it didn't seem like it was an alternate identity. It's like brand refresh. For when they said that, I thought, what? But I guess
no, it's probably a brand refresh for an alternate identity.
yeah, it didn't come across when I first saw it that it was for an alternate identity. I was like, what are they doing?
There we go.
It says rebrand, so
Yeah. I think they probably mean alternate identity, but
now there is a smiley face with two X's in the eyes you can make out in the background. So
yep.
not sure which one that is.
Something
I don't
to
know.
do
It
with
looks
Nirvana.
I was saying, it's got a Nirvana look to it.
That definitely has Nirvana look to it.
Because
The
it's
90s are alive and well, baby.
because it says there right on the side, smells like a new rebrand, but then also it says smells like Teen Spirit,
Yep.
Come As You Are, and
Okay.
Polly. So yeah, it has something to do with Nirvana. Just don't know what.
That's going to be interesting to see what happens. I mean, I can't wait to see what my Northwoods League team comes out with tomorrow.
Okay.
So that's it for minor league baseball. Just to go over some quick tidbits on some other sports. Our NBA playoffs, the Thunder and Cavaliers have both advanced.
Oh my God, the
They both have
Cavaliers.
swept their series. Currently, no one else has currently advanced, although Knicks are down by 1 with 5 seconds left
Wait,
against
hold
Detroit.
There was a team that advanced.
Which is what he said. He
I
said
just
there's
said
two that
Thunder.
advanced.
Okay. Well,
So now who's not listening?
I didn't hear the advance. I didn't hear the advance. I heard not advance, but okay.
No.
I apologize. Patrick, you are cut off from drinking your drink from now on. Okay? You got too much sugar. You know you're old, so you need to calm the hell down.
Oh, actually, I need to make a retraction. The Pacers have just advanced, so now they are the third team. So now it'll be Cavs versus Pacers in the second round.
By
Is
the
that
way-
the one, is that the team with that R&B singer Tyrese?
Yes, I believe that's the may not be the
Okay.
same duo. Yes,
Okay.
Cavaliers put an absolute
Um,
ass of a whooping.
Then in
Oh,
the
they did.
NHL playoffs, so far no one has advanced.
Playoffs.
Toronto had a chance tonight and they blew it
Again?
again. So they are now 1-12. in
Toronto
series
can't win
games.
those elimination games, man.
They are now 1-12. I believe the Devils and Hurricanes either that.
They're
I don't know
going
if
They're
that's-
going to
overtime.
overtime.
Okay, that's going to overtime. So that's
They
going to be
were
one to
losing
keep an eye on.
3-0.
Yeah, they came back. It's down 4-4. So that's going great for that game.
So,
Okay,
for Ed,
baby.
when I got on with Patrick and Virgil, like 10 minutes before we were going to go live, they were down 3-2. And when we started the show, it was tied 4-4.
Jesus.
There was a flurry of scoring in about 10, 12 minutes there. Crazy.
Unreal.
Was that a Theo flurry or a Marc Andre flurry of goals?
Okay.
Marc Andre.
Some college basketball news. Sacramento State has a new GM in Shaquille O'Neal.
I
Ah,
wonder who plays for that team.
I think it's his son, maybe. I'm not sure.
is that going to be? Does that mean he's leaving NBA on TNT, or is he just going to do
I
both
wouldn't.
jobs?
No. What makes this interesting from watching for me is Sacramento State is one of the few teams that have never made the NCAA tournament. They've kind of been one of the seller teams down in their conference, so it'll be interesting to see what they can do with that. And also, Mike Bibby is coaching there, so there's some pedigree there already.
So, Virgil, is there a chance that they make a call to UW Green Bay and get a certain coach into the setup out there?
Why would they do that?
Yeah.
Why would you bring that to existence?
Because it would make a great story.
Speaking of, did you see that he took credit for Caitlin Clark's adjusting her footwork? He took credit for it.
He also takes credit for the sun coming out each day.
I'm like, bro, chill the fuck out. Like,
You know what he doesn't take credit for, though? His 25 losses.
Exactly. That's someone else's fault.
So for MLB, there is the I don't know, has this been official release or was this a leak? The Chicago White Sox City Connect. That was
It's
official.
official.
It's
Yeah.
official.
The
And
Chicago Bulls inspired.
And not only that, but they are keeping their South Side jerseys as well.
Here, I'll pull up the White Sox City Connect. Give me a second.
I'll say
Yeah,
it.
that
You
The
know,
only
I'm
thing I
old,
like
so it's going
about
to
the
take
whole-
me 5 minutes.
The only thing I like about the whole City Connect is the hat. That's it.
Yeah. I mean, it's a good, but I don't know why they felt they needed to add one or change it at all, because Southside is fantastic for them.
I agree. They didn't need another City Connect. They just
Nah.
didn't.
Okay, let's see. Trying to find. Okay, so here's the. Do you want me to play the video?
You're
No.
already playing.
No, I don't think it's necessary.
Okay, well then, my bad. I don't know how this conflab technology works. Okay, there we go. There's a picture. I don't mind it.
It's the Chicago Bulls.
You what?
It's the Bulls.
Well, yeah.
It's not necessary.
Would you represent the White Sox for the City Connect if you didn't have to?
I'd rather represent the South Side than the Chicago Bulls.
I don't
I
get
like
the
hat. The only
wing.
thing I like is the hat.
Yeah, and I don't get the wing on the hat, like on the sock there. It's just like, why has it got the wing coming off of it?
Windy City.
Windy.
Windy.
Yeah, but I don't know.
Everybody knows.
They don't even know what wind is.
Back in
Well,
my day,
What I'm
Listen,
kind of
no-
curious about is, are the Bulls going to have White Sox inspired basketball jerseys?
Well, it
I
did
would
say
rather have
that.
Cubs.
If
They did
if
say
they're
it
trying to
was a
throw the season,
collab.
then yes.
I mean, I would think the way it sounded, what one of the things that I read was that yes, it was going to be like a cross collaboration.
I thought you said it was going to be a cult, and I'm like, what?
No, cross collaboration.
Okay.
If it's a cross collaboration, all right, cool. I can see that happening. That'd be kind of cool. But the only thing
Yeah.
I like, honestly, I do like the hat. The hat is pretty cool.
The hat is cool. I really
It'd be kind of cool to see just an all black Bulls jersey with the word Bulls in the same lettering as socks or something like that.
Yeah, why not?
Eric, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I was a huge Bulls fan back in the 90s, but I don't know. I'm kind of like Ed. I'm like, why do you bother with doing a baseball team with the basketball team's uniforms? I'm just, because red's not their color.
They're
I know a
trying
lot
to
of teams.
connect the city.
Well, then work with the Chicago Cubs as well.
Where's
Yeah.
the Blackhawks stuff then?
True. Or the
Blackhawks
Bears.
have-
Nobody cares
Actually-
about them.
I wouldn't be surprised to see Cubs and Bears do something if they're
Yeah.
going to do this between teams.
Disgusting.
I would be very interested to see that. Cubs and Bears, that would be kind of cool to see.
Caleb Williams throwing out the first pitch at Wrigley Field.
Do the
It'll be
Cubs
intercepted.
the Cubs logo, like the bear, actual bear on the side
Might
of the
get
helmet?
sacked first.
Shy Sox do give away with a Red Bulls looking jersey. Okay,
Okay.
they've done it before in the past. Of course,
Nice.
Lynn knows. Lynn
Yeah.
probably has one of those jerseys.
She probably does. She got it in a mystery box, by the way.
So before we get into NFL news, I just want to go over some scores for baseball that have been final since we started.
Yep.
Mets beat the Diamondbacks 8-3. Red Sox beat the Blue Jays 10-2. Sorry, Patrick. Kansas City beats the Royals beat the Rays 3-1. Phillies beat the Nationals 7-6. Cubs beat the Pirates 9-0. And the Yankees had to cheat their way to beat the Orioles 15-3.
I like how you put that.
Well, like I said, we didn't really have time to talk about the home runs because no one wants to hear that. No one cares.
No.
So yeah,
Only that they made history.
Yeah, but
Yeah, there's a shit.
whatever. So yeah, we just need to get that out of the way. But now let's talk about now we'll go to NFL. We're going to talk about the biggest story of this week. Kittle signing a 4-year, $76.5 million contract, $40 million of that guaranteed.
Who was that?
Good for him.
Who was that?
San Francisco tight end Kittle.
Oh,
Kittle.
George Kittle?
Yeah, it was a 4-year extension on top of the 2 he had remaining on his contract already.
Yeah.
Whew, good for him.
All right, so now let's talk about the draft. Now, I know we've all saw it. Some of us have had stronger opinions than others. But before we talk about, I want to get your guys' reactions on your teams and what you thought, how they did. We can't really avoid the elephant in the room and talk about Shedeur Sanders' fall. So do you think this was the case of him being overvalued or overanalyzed by Mel Kiper being that high, or do you think he's actually a legit lower round draft, or do you think there was these front office people actually going, no, he's too much?
I don't think he was a first-round draft pick. I think he was over projected if anybody had him as a first-round draft pick. I didn't think he's a fifth-round draft pick,
No.
but he's not that good a quarterback. He really isn't. I think he was overhyped. He had the advantage of having Hunter, but he never really did anything to elevate that team.
Donnie, I'm so glad you said that because I have stats ready for this.
Of course you did.
You just fell right into my trap. No, you're completely right. He had Travis Hunter to bail him out of a lot of stuff.
Yeah. But
I went back and looked at the college football. I looked at the last year's quarterback ratings based off yards. So the top 5 of that is Kyle McCord from Syracuse, Cam Ward, Miami, Jackson Dart, Shedeur Sanders, and Garrett Nussmeier from LSU. Comparing their stats between touchdowns, and before I begin, don't give me crap about SEC, Big Ten. I don't care about that shit. Comparing their stats, Shedeur did have more touchdowns. You could probably blame Hunter for that. That's true. Did not, comparing some of the other stats with yardage, with touchdowns, they're comparable with that. Somewhere he's even better than he had more. The only person who had more touchdowns than him was Cam Ward. But to me, I think he is a good player when it comes to passing game. But there was one big flaw that I feel like not a lot of people talked about with him. I'm going to read these numbers real quick. 27, 22, 28, 42, 16. Those were the sack numbers of the top 5 down there. He was sacked the most out of any quarterback.
Terrible offensive line.
And he has a terrible offensive line. But the other problem with that is you still can hold out. An offensive line is one thing because, yes, you'll get sacked, but you also know how to throw away the ball.
Yep.
That's why, and that's like when you have somebody who's even worse than him. I'll bring up Alan Bowman because I watched him. He was only sacked 8 times because he threw away the ball so many other times. Shedeur Sanders did not do this. That is pretty much a death sentence in the NFL.
I heard Albert Breer today talking about him a little bit too, and one of the terms I think he used was that Shedeur escaped out the back of the pocket too much. So instead of stepping up, he went out the back, which is also going to contribute to a lot of sacks and lost yardage because he's just, like you said, he's just running with the ball, trying to get away instead of just throwing it away and moving on.
But my biggest problem with him, I'm sorry, Patrick, I didn't mean to cut you off there.
No, I was just going to say Alan Bowman, go Pokes.
Go Pokes. My biggest problem with him, and this is why I 100% think they drafted Dylan Gabriel. Think about his trajectory, Sanders' trajectory in college. Starts at Jackson State, no competition. Goes to Colorado. I don't know if it was the first day or the first week of Deion's press conferences. He said, "Your quarterback is coming." There was no competition to deal with in Colorado for him. He's always had these lines up.
Yeah.
So we don't even know how he does in a tryout situation here. Is he actually going to excel and be the person that Mel Kiper thought he was, being a number 1 draft pick, or is he going to flounder?
Mm-hmm.
I don't think you can do that with having a Flacco Pickett group already. You need to have somebody who's also coming in, someone who got drafted before him. That gives him motivation.
Yeah. The only reason he has a chance to be a starting quarterback is because of that quarterback room. That's the only reason he has a chance. This is not an original thought, but I heard someone talk about it today and it made sense. I think a lot of the teams in the NFL view him as a backup quarterback. So you view a backup quarterback differently than you do a starting quarterback, right? So with someone you view as a starting quarterback, that's someone that, I said right or wrong, that's someone if you don't like how they carry themselves in a certain way, or the people they have around them, sometimes you'll put up with that if you think that they're a guaranteed starting quarterback in the National Football League. But if you're a backup, you don't want all that, because you don't want the story to be your backup quarterback. You want it to be the starter. Now, am I saying that Shedeur cannot be a starter in the NFL? No. I mean, we'll have to see. That's what it's coming down to now, is we're going to have to see when it comes down to competition what happens, because the Browns have 2 1s next year. So that's one thing that people have to remember, is that, and if the Jaguars are not as good, are not very good, that could be 2 high draft picks. And it's a much, much, much stronger quarterback draft class next year. With all due respect to this year's class, I think it's just going to be a deeper class of quarterbacks next year. And the Browns, if they don't find what they like this year, they could always dip back in next year. So we'll see what happens.
Well, there's only like 4 teams that legitimately needed to draft a potential starting quarterback. I mean, you had Cleveland to some extent, even though they had Flacco, but you had the Raiders, Pittsburgh, and maybe the Saints that were probably legitimately looking for a draftable quarterback to be a starter. Outside of that, the other 28 teams, they don't need a starter. There's no reason for them to draft somebody in the first couple of rounds. So that in itself played into some of that. And what?
Pittsburgh does not need a starter.
Well,
exactly.
Can I talk now?
Hold on, before Ed, go ahead and start talking, but I'm going to change hats for this while you're talking.
Do your thing.
Yeah. Yeah. I was just about to say, so
all right, so here we go. The Browns had a good draft. They did. They didn't have a great draft. They had a good draft. All right. So let's not get this twisted. That I actually do like what they did, and moving back and getting a good defensive lineman. Did I want Travis Hunter? Yeah, absolutely. He's a generational kind of player, right? So let's be honest about that. I like your hat.
Thank you.
All right. What you guys are forgetting also, yes, that took advantage of the fact that his dad was the head coach of both at Jackson State and Colorado? Absolutely. But let's be honest. Jackson State was nowhere in the map when you come to talk about when it comes to a football program. He came in there and he played good. Yes. Did he have Travis Hunter? Yes. Are you going to fault every quarterback for having a great wide receiver as well for the stats? You know, let's be honest about that, right? Patrick Mahomes has had some good wide receivers with him. Ben Roethlisberger had good wide receivers with him that was able to bail him out a lot of the times. Kurt Warner, Tom Brady. So let's not get it twisted and say that like, well, Shedeur Sanders took advantage. Yeah, he took advantage of what he had. Absolutely. Also, Colorado's offensive line was absolute dog shit. Did he hold on to the ball too long? 100%. He needs to work on that in the coming now. And in between now and, you know, by the time, you know, if he does get picked to be part of the team, because the potential is that he may not be part of the team. Okay. The one thing that really pissed me off about the Browns is that they had a really good draft until they decided that they were going to pick Gabriel over Shedeur Sanders at that spot. They should have not done that. Because now what you have done successfully have done is the Browns, you just became the conversation of like, there you go. There's the ineptitude of the team again. You know, they're talking shit about the team because what? They cannot decide on what to do when picking quarterbacks. It's as simple as that. But Shedeur Sanders has the opportunity to become a good starter if he chooses to. So let's not get that twisted. Gabriel, you know, Eric was like, well, he did lead them to the Big Ten. That team was stacked. Okay, that Oregon team was stacked. So he took advantage of the situation that team was really good. The Colorado Buffaloes were never good. Why? Because they had to start from scratch with that team. They had to literally start from scratch. A lot of players left because they didn't feel like whatever, right? Deion Sanders was too much for them, or they weren't going to get a starting spot because they weren't good enough, whatever. So they transferred out. And you have not heard from any of them pretty much at other teams. So let's call it by what it is. Okay. They do have 2 picks in next year's draft, which by what we're seeing, Jacksonville is not going to be a good team this year either. Neither are the Browns. So they could potentially have 2 top 10 picks in the 2026 draft. I like the way they approach it. I just wish they would have just picked Shedeur Sanders over Gabriel and been picked another player after that. I've said my piece.
The Browns need Alan Bowman.
I'm not even gonna say that.
No, don't do that. Stop it. Anyways, I've said my piece.
Okay, so since we got the, is there anything else? Since we're going to be talking about the teams now, is there anything else you want to say about Cleveland's draft this year?
It wasn't a bad draft. It was a good draft on their part.
No.
I mean, they were able to move back to number 5, get a bunch of picks, right? Like, I mean, let's be honest. Like, Travis Hunter is a generational type of player. He is absolutely wonderful. The problem is, he went to an organization where they need a lot more than just Shedeur Sanders.
Oh. And one thing, yeah, I sure do, Mrs. Influencer. But I think Mel Kiper gave them an A+ for their draft, if I'm not mistaken.
I stopped listening to Mel Kiper when he started going on and on and on and on and on about Shedeur.
Todd.
We get it, right? So let's not. The Browns did good. I'm happy with the outcome. It's just that there's no way in any universe are you going to convince me that Gabriel is better than Sanders. I'm sorry. You just can't.
So Virgil,
yes.
What about your beloved Tennessee Titans? Like, what did you think of their draft?
I really feel bad for Cam Ward. Like, I know he's going to have so much hype put on him, and I mean, I hope he does well. But I really, I know with the stuff with Sanders being the focus of the draft, I feel like it really overshadowed Cam Ward's story. Basically starting as a 0-star recruit from Incarnate Word and then working his way up to, being the top draft pick at Miami. That's an amazing story. But Titans are going to need a lot more help than that.
Yeah, but I did think the Titans had a pretty good draft, though.
Yeah, I would say that they got some good pickups, but like I said, that's going to be a work in progress for sure.
Yeah.
So let's go to Eric. How do you feel how your Packers did?
So for the first time since 1802, they finally drafted a wide receiver in the first round. Matthew Golden from Texas. So
It was a golden
basically,
opportunity. You're welcome.
That was pretty good. You got to admit that was
it was terrible. It was
Terrible.
not good.
Terrible.
It was not
Terrible.
good.
It was terrible.
But then they picked up Savion Williams from TCU.
Yes.
So basically what they're doing is just going to put 27 guys out there that can run 4.4 40s and just sprint past everybody is apparently what we're going with. Christian Watson will be out for the entire year. So they had to go with some more speed on top of the speed that we already have. So it's going to be a track meet probably. We'll see. There's been a lot of speculation that Jair Alexander is going to be gone, but now they're saying he may be back this year, but need some work on the defense. So hopefully whatever they got through the defensive side will help as well, because as much as we can put up 50 points, we need some type of a defense to stop some teams out there. So yeah, it was good to see that they finally drafted a wide receiver for the first time in forever.
Okay.
very straight to the point.
Yeah, very good. Donnie, how do you feel about the okay, hold on. For some reason I have like 8 tabs open for your teams. Let me just pick the Carolina Panthers.
Yeah. I was going to ask about the Jaguars, but I mean, yeah, whatever.
Well, Jaguars didn't do bad either, but that's not who we're here to talk about.
Florida
talk
Fighting
about
Donnies.
The Panthers did absolutely fantastic in my mind. This is one of the best drafts as a fan that I think they've ever had, because they addressed so many needs and got some really good players, especially several really good ones later rounds. We needed wide receivers, so I am absolutely thrilled that we got Tetaroa. I think he's going to stretch the field a little bit, help Bryce Young out. We got a couple of edge rushers. I don't know a lot about some of these guys, so I have to look into them a little bit, but picked up a couple of good edge rushers. We got Etienne's brother, Trevor, which, I was kind of disappointed when he chose Florida over Clemson to begin with, and all that. He got a little banged up last year, but I think he has the potential to be a solid running back. So I'm really excited about that. We got him in the 4th round. So that's pretty good there. Picked up a good tight end out of Notre Dame, and he's apparently a pretty good blocking tight end and catching tight end. So, Eric, you may be able to explain a little bit more about him. He kind of reminds me a little bit of Greg Olsen, to be honest with you. But I don't know if he's going to play like Greg Olsen, but we'll see. And then we got Jimmy Horn out of Colorado with our last pick, another wide receiver that will help us. So, running back, wide receiver, safety, defensive line, edge rushers, they spread it out. Nothing was more frustrating when Matt Rule was the coach than 2 straight drafts of nothing but defense when we couldn't score any points. So, absolutely love this draft.
Lynn, to answer your question, Scotty went to the Giants.
Yeah, the Giants had a phenomenal draft.
5th round?
I think he was 4th.
Yeah, 4th or 5th. 4th round,
fifth.
maybe. Yeah. Yeah, Giants did very good.
Donnie, one correction. You said Etienne went to Florida. He went to Georgia. And
he was at Florida for 2 years, then he transferred to Georgia.
I was looking at what CBS had. My bad. Yeah, CBS has rated Panthers drafts picks at A-. So that's really good.
I was very happy with the Panthers how they did it.
Etienne is actually the one I'm kind of looking to see how he'll do, especially if it helps Chuba split up those runs, because I know Chuba gets injured pretty quick.
Well, and Trevor's a more power runner than his brother Travis. Travis was a great pass catcher out of the backfield. Trevor, not so much. But I'm not worried about that if we have good wide receivers. I want somebody that can just pound it. So hopefully he can get in there and do that.
All right, very good. So, Patrick, let's talk about the Colts.
Yeah, overall, I think the Colts had a pretty good draft. I was thrilled with the first round pick of Tyler Warren because if the Colts needed anything that was not the secondary, this going into this offseason, it was a tight end. Because they were thin at tight end, and like it's kind of like whenever you would see who they threw to, it's like who. So Tyler Warren to me, yes, Eric, he's an absolute beast. And anyways, I didn't think Tyler Warren would fall that far, and I say thank you to the Chicago Bears for drafting Colston Loveland, because I didn't dream that Tyler Warren would fall to 15. But sometimes you get lucky, because that's who Warren is who the Colts have been coveting ever since the draft talk started. So that was cool. And I'm gonna pronounce this wrong, so please correct me. But JT Tuimoloau is a good player out of Ohio State. I thought that was pretty good value in the second round. I don't know a lot about the round 3 through 3 and 4 guys, Jalen Travis and Justin Wally. Like I hope that they're good picks. I was thrilled. I think they got a steal with DJ Giddens in round 5. I think DJ Giddens is a good back. Well, I'm not going to listen to a Kansas fan talking about a Kansas State running back. So, anyways, and then I don't know, round 6 we took Riley Leonard. So, I don't know that Riley Leonard's going to translate to the NFL. We already have two guys that are not accurate passers and are good on their feet. So I hope I'm wrong, but we'll see what happens with Riley. And then, a couple, Tim Smith and Hunter Wohler in round 6 and 7. We've got another safety that we're going to try to convert to linebacker. We'll see how that works out. We seem to have a habit of doing that. But overall, I was happy. And it's the draft's gotten good grades from a lot of people. So I'd say it's a solid draft overall.
Yeah, CBS, the sports does not agree. Your grade is C+ on that.
Is it?
I think mostly. I think it's kind of an unfair grade, honestly, because I think most of it is skewed towards the Riley Leonard pick.
Yeah.
Which I guess with the quarterbacks they have in the system currently, I don't know if Leonard's going to be somebody that's going to make any sort of.
Well, that's why I say he's too much like what we already have. I mean, we have guys that are good on their feet, that are good on the run, but are not accurate, throwers. And that was always that, as good as he was at Notre Dame, that was always Riley Leonard's, drawback was, just some of the throws he made. You're like, well, who in the world is that going to? So I don't know. I mean, we'll see, but I was surprised they took him in round 6, but hey, I mean, it's, hopeful. I hope that when they hit the field that I'm wrong. So overall, but I mean, especially in the early rounds, and I think DJ Giddens is a great backup for Jonathan Taylor. So I was particularly happy to see that. But nice to have a tight end that I know. Now the only question is, are they going to have a quarterback that can even throw to him? But that's another. Yeah, exactly. So we'll see what happens.
So this next question I have is something I probably should have prepped you guys on first. So we'll see what happens here.
Ooh, I like this.
Were there any picks that were not your team that you're like, I want to see that's a good pick for them, or I want to see how that goes? Like a surprise. Like for me, Scotty Booth for the Giants, for an example. The way that he played, he's going to factor somehow into that team.
I like that pick a lot.
Yeah, I do too.
Especially because he fell, right, when everybody had him a little bit higher, but with how he fell, and then they were able to get him at the value that they're getting him. Yeah, that's a great pick.
I know on the first round, I know I talked about him, but on the first round for me, Omarion Hampton going to the Seahawks.
That was a great pick.
I feel like Hampton's like he's from North Carolina. I feel like a lot of people don't have as many eyes on him as they should because I mean he plays for the ACC, so it's not like it's probably not viewed as well like as an SEC or a Big Ten player would be. But I think he's be one that I definitely would like to keep tabs on.
And honestly, I liked in the first round. I thought that the Ravens got a steal with Malachi Starks at 27. I thought that was a really good pick for them. And I also thought that the Eagles did it again with Jihad Campbell.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, like how in the world did Jihad Campbell fall to 29 and go to the Eagles? It's like every year.
He fell in a perfect position if you think about it.
Oh, I mean, it's great for him. Like what a great position for him to be in to go to the Eagles. But like, how do the Eagles get this every year? It's like, they switch a spot with the Chiefs and then they get Jihad Campbell. I mean, I think that's an absolute steal at 29.
It was great. I love that pick for them.
Yeah. No, I mean, it's a great pickup. And
when I said Hampton, did I say Seahawks or Chargers? I think I said Chargers in my head, but Seahawks came out.
Yeah, you said Seahawks.
Okay, I meant Chargers.
Yeah. Well, speaking of running backs, like I know he went high, but like considering who the coach is, Janty to the Raiders.
Oh my God, that's such a perfect fit there.
Well, it is because what does Pete Carroll like to do? Run the football.
Yeah.
So
don't hate on it because it's the Raiders, Eric.
No, my brother says he hates the pick. He said the dude should have been like a 4th rounder.
No.
Really?
No absolute way. No way.
He said that was terrible. There's no way they should have picked him that high.
Did he watch his games? Because I mean, he ran over everybody.
Yeah, they didn't play anybody.
Here we go.
I mean,
you always say that.
Hey, he wouldn't have been there if they didn't pick him there. He wouldn't have been anywhere else for them to pick him.
Well, tell my brother that. He didn't like the pick.
I think it was a great pick. I think it was a great fit also for the Raiders or what they're doing.
Well, I mean, I'll give them credit for this, right or wrong. They were very decisive because I think they had Janty targeted, for weeks, and they knew that they had a chance to get him at 6, and then they just went for it. I mean, and it can work out. Look what the Lions did with Jahmyr Gibbs a couple years ago. They took him in the first round, I think at number 8. And while all first round running back picks don't work out, and you can get quality backs in the 3rd and 4th and 5th rounds, I mean, as history has shown us, if that's the guy that you want, go and get him.
Yeah.
If you think he's the best player available for your needs, go get him. And the Raiders did that.
Can I give you guys another one for me?
Mm-hmm.
Emeka Mbuka going to Tampa, wide receiver.
This love affair with Baker, I swear.
Listen, I'm just saying, that's a good pick for Tampa. You know it is because he's a good wide receiver.
I didn't have a problem with Mbuka. I just didn't know that they needed a wide receiver in Tampa.
Well, what's his name?
They re-signed Goodwin. Injured. Like when they re-signed Goodwin.
Yeah, but Goodwin always gets injured. That's the problem.
I know, but they just re-signed him to like a 3-year deal.
Goodwin or Godwin?
Godwin. I'm sorry. Godwin.
Yeah, but still, Goodwin. He's not
but,
good.
Yeah, but they also have McMillan. I mean,
they've got. Injured. Sorry, I apologize. I was a little angry there.
Mike Evans.
You angry? No.
But that was a good pick. Can I give you a head scratcher? Pittsburgh. What are they doing?
Winning a Super Bowl with Mason Rudolph?
There you go. No, I'm really surprised they went. Let me make sure I got the right number here. Was it 7 or 6? I'm really surprised they took 6th round to get a quarterback.
They had an opportunity to grab more quarterbacks. They just did.
And I have nothing against Will Howard. I hope he does well, but it's just I don't know. I'm not feeling that.
Yeah. It feels like a Kenny Pickett pick from a couple years ago.
Kind of like a courtesy pick. I mean,
Well,
because
I know
Pickett
Kenny
was
Pickett-
at Pittsburgh. Will Howard was wasn't he a Pittsburgh fan growing up, or was am I missing on that? I know he said something about part of his family were huge Eagles fans. They were have to be Pittsburgh fans, but I thought I heard he grew up a Pittsburgh fan.
No idea.
Okay.
Oh no, and I know Pickett was an earlier pick. Like, wasn't he the third round or something like that for the Steelers?
Yeah.
Something like a third round pick, but it reminds me of a couple years ago with Kenny Pickett. So
Another one doesn't make sense, and I'm sorry I keep piling on the Giants, but Jackson Dart.
Dart doesn't.
I don't know.
I like Dart.
I like Dart.
I don't think he was worth trading up for a first round for.
He was going to still be there.
Yeah, I don't buy that.
I don't think they needed to move up into the first round to grab him. That's why my head scratch. It's like you didn't need to.
Yeah.
No one was going to take him.
Well, I think Dayball just knew that was his guy, so he wanted to go in and get him.
Yeah, but why would you get both him and the general manager are on the hot seat? Why are you going to give him another quarterback to fuck up?
I think they're putting all their chips in. They know that they're on the hot seat anyway, so they're putting it all in on Jackson Dart, because ultimately for the Giants, it's with all due respect to Abdul Carter, I think that the success or failure of this draft for the Giants is going to fall on Jackson Dart's ability to be a starting quarterback in the NFL.
Oh my god!
Well, again,
they said or not, but by virtue of the position, that's how they're going to be judged.
Right. They were talking about this a little bit on DP too, and it was funny because they made the comment about Jackson Dart and trading up to get him, and somebody's like, "Hey, this is a team that had Tommy DeVito play at quarterback, so come on."
For fuck's sake.
Yeah, it's not a bad pick.
But they missed the most important thing. They already had their organization savior there. They have Jameis Winston, baby. Famous Jameis.
I think it's a good pick. I think he's an underrated quarterback. I don't know that he's it may be a little bit of an overbuy.
Yeah.
But I think he's an underrated quarterback.
I think he's underrated, but the people that are trying to say he has Josh Allen like tools, I'm like, hold off now.
Yeah,
I watched a lot of
slow your
LSU
roll,
games.
slow your
I said,
roll.
Yeah, I
I
wouldn't
watched
say
a lot of
that.
LSU games. Josh Allen, he's not.
No.
Eric, do you have any insights?
No.
No. Okay. I like to give one more player and then also a shout out for a player. First player I want to mention, this is a homer pick for me, but Nick Martin going to the 49ers, especially with the speed that he has, that is a great fit for them. I cannot wait to see what he does there. Ollie Gordon also went 4th round to Miami. He did not have a good year last year, but that's a whole other story, getting into play calling, whatever. That's a mess there. But the one player I want to talk about did not get a high draft grade, and usually the school does not usually get many draft picks, but since it is a local school, I like to talk about this. Carson Vincent from Baltimore Ravens in the 5th round, from Alabama A&M. Their last player drafted, I think, God, I don't know the last time they had a player drafted, but it's nice to see a player from a local school, especially a SWAC school, get drafted.
Yeah. I love the good draft stories, like the guy that the Pack. I mean, I'm not going to get his name right. Eric, maybe you know it. The guy that the Packers drafted that was in the green room for like the 4th round of the draft. Is it Bailey Sorrell? Did I say that right? But anyways, I don't know if you guys saw that, but it's like day 3 of the draft, and he said he wanted to come and have the draft experience, so the NFL flew him in. And he was in the draft green room, like most of the top 1st round picks are the ones that decide to go, and he got drafted by the Packers, and obviously with the draft being in Green Bay, it was just so cool to see him get that draft experience. I think he was in the 4th round, if I'm not mistaken. And it was just really, really cool to see him not only get picked, but to kind of get to celebrate in front of the Green Bay faithful, because Green Bay, by all accounts, were phenomenal hosts of the draft. So shout out to Green Bay for that, for being great hosts, despite the weather on a couple of the days. Just, they said they were the nicest people. And so I was really happy for him that he got to kind of live out his NFL draft dreams and, do something that not everyone does, and just go. He waited through, I think he flew in day 2, and then he waited through that whole day, and then it went into day 3, but then he finally got his name called. And I thought that was really cool. And then there was another guy that the Chargers drafted who he was not at the draft because he had gone to be, his best friend had unfortunately passed away, and he had gone to his best friend's funeral. And from the funeral, he got the call from the Chargers saying that he'd been drafted. So yeah. Anyways. All right. Well, I think we've covered a whole lot tonight. We've gone 2 hours. So let's go around and let's see. I'll start with Mr. Influencer. What do you have going on this week?
So tomorrow on the Earn Fun Average podcast, Johnny and I speak with Walmer Medina. He's the works for the Durham Bulls. He helped design one of the new logos that came out recently for a specific league. You'll be able to hear all about that. He's a creative director with the Bulls. Walmer Medina. Check it out tomorrow.
Nice. Mr. Mayor?
I am going to get up early and go meet Mike Sellers in Fayetteville in the morning. He's doing a double dip tomorrow, Fayetteville and the Fireflies tomorrow night. So
Nice.
I haven't been to that stadium, so I figured I'd go with him and basically do a Segra double dip. We're going to be at Segra Field in Fayetteville and Segra Park for the nightcap. So going to do that tomorrow. Awesome. And then probably be out at the Fireflies again on Thursday. So probably start the show out there Thursday night. And it's kind of it for this weekend. And Star Wars night is Sunday night for the Fireflies. So they'll be on May 4th. Yeah.
Well, that sounds fun. Mr. Producer, what you got going on?
So I'm currently working on the 3 tournaments, the Copa tournament, the food tournament, and the alternate identity tournament. We do have fields pretty much set, just a matter of seating now. So hopefully we'll unveil those pretty soon.
Very nice. And then guest, Mr. Dad Hat, what you have going on the Chronicles?
This week, finished the conversation with the CEO of Sandler Cuds. That's a good one. Talk about how they started making hats, how that happened, and then also how this little fun ball came to be, the yard ball. So
very nice.
Sure you guys listen to it. Yeah, it's pretty cool.
And tomorrow on the MILB Hat History series, we're going to start talking about baseball in Florence, Kentucky, and we're going to start talking about the Florence Freedom. So, the former name of a current team that we all know. And so that'll be kind of the first of a 2-part on that. So tomorrow I'm talking about the former Frontier League identity, the Florence Freedom. So be sure to check that out.
Love it.
And all right. Well, guys, thank you. Big shout out to our viewers. Thanks for staying with us. We know we went a little long tonight, but thanks for staying with us as always. Thanks for being amazing in the chat. And we will catch you guys next time. See ya.